Trent Alexander Arnold's local-born hero status seems to be diminished, after talks between he and Real Madrid continue to strongly develop. The luxury right-back has been performing at the high level for the Reds for the best part of 9 years, and 349 appearances later, it looks as if he's leaving on a free. Now his quality is undeniable. He's cemented himself as one of the best and most talked about fullbacks in Premier League history. That's not going to be easy to replace, but it's a task that I am looking to delve into today. I've looked into the right back market, researched, watched, compared and taken a delve into options that I feel would suit Arne Slot's style of play, but options that are actually realistic, where the status of those players are touchable to Liverpool's transfer team. So without further ado, let's swing right into things. Firstly, before we delve into these options, let's understand Arne Slot, his style of play and Trent Alexander Arnold's influence in the Liverpool team. Arne Slot at Feyenoord used mainly these right backs. At Liverpool, we've seen him use these. Liverpool's system is very free flowing, lots of fluidity and rotations amongst the midfield with a usual back four build up in most phases. Gravenberch sits deep, with the fullbacks fairly narrow, allowing for the ball to circulate from one player to the other very easy as the distance is shorter. But that doesn't mean this stays this way. Slot usually impacts most games with tactical tweaks, which involves the fullbacks quite a lot. Maybe one goes into midfield, maybe one goes into the right half space. Slot sees patterns, areas to exploit and remains proactive on the sideline. But to summarise, the fullbacks share a lot of the ball. Trent for Liverpool is a player with high influence and quality. His ability with the ball at his feet is absolutely stupendous. No right back in world football shares better ability on the ball than him. But of course, a lot of right backs probably share better ability in the defensive aspect of their game. So how can Liverpool replace Trent Alexander Arnold? Well, creatively, you can't. Not from right back. As I've said, there's not a right back available out there that is as good as Trent or better than Trent creatively. Liverpool will need to recruit in midfield, on the left or even left back to replace that creativity that Trent is leaving behind. Now the most obvious replacement that's on the thumbnail that everybody will be screaming is Conor Bradley. To me, Bradley is outstanding. The 21-year-old's performances in a Liverpool shirt already, with a star player in front of him in the pecking order, have been great, hugely convincing. He's everything you want in a right back with so much time to improve. But what you don't want in your right back is his injury history. Since July of 2023, he's missed 47 games. Now, his look may change for the better, but that doesn't look like the sign of a right back who's going to be available to you every week. And Jarell Quansah and Joe Gomez as backups aren't exactly convincing, considering they are centre backs. So you need someone. The Reds need to sign someone. So let's get started with that. I've got 3 names for you that I'll be delving into with detail. Well, 2 names if you remove Conor Bradley to it, but number 1, Arnau Martinez. Arnau Martinez is a 21-year-old Spanish versatile right back who plays for Girona. He was linked to Manchester City, Barcelona, Inter Milan, Bayer Leverkusen and Arsenal in the past, but he's currently undergoing his 5th season in senior football for Girona at just 21 years of age. Within his career he's made 161 appearances and at some point played all at right back, right wing back, centre back and even centre midfield. The young Spaniard is very talented and to me an all-rounder, which Liverpool fans have slightly missed in the past few years at right back. From these stats we can see he's someone who enjoys the ball a lot, especially in that middle third where Liverpool's fullbacks spend a lot of time. He's progressive, he's reliable and also, a big plus, injury clean. Defensively, with his 5'9" frame, he may not look the most physically imposing player ever, but he does just fine. He's not reckless, he's not hugely aggressive, but when watching him it always seems like he gets his foot in, whether that's general duels, 1v1s, high pressing looking for a turnover, and his jumps towards his man. Now what I mean by that is once his man receives the pass, his timing and know-how is spot on quite a bit, making it difficult for the attacker and often forcing him back and to recycle the ball away from him fast. He's not messy, he's clean, he's intelligent. When chasing back and defending those wider spaces, his determined mindset ensures his work rate is spot on, that he gets back into position. He's also known to deal with slow, directed, floated balls pretty well by heading it or just clearing it out of the way. My only slight grudge defensively is when the ball is moving a little faster, he may not be as aware, not with space and positionally, but more so with those around him that are attacking. But this can improve, of course. If we shift our focus to his ability on the ball, then you have the same feel of security to him as a player. He likes to be involved in play, which is good because Liverpool fullbacks average around 80 to 90 touches per 90. Martinez currently sits at 79.6. With those touches, he's really controlled, calm, composed outlet in possession that shares quality control of the football. He really suits Slot's use of a fullback. That positional discipline he contains, Slot would admire. He'll enjoy connecting with the midfield, defence and the wide man. The 21-year-old's great at simply recycling the ball and keeping to the basics of football. He's someone very mature in his all-round game, and although attacking may not be his direct source of quality, he can put in a pretty good cross. He's got a good delivery and decent ball striking him. Maybe it's not as good as Trent, but honestly, who matches Trent in that department? His price tag currently sits at a reported €14 million. Whether it stays that low if Liverpool come knocking, who knows, but to me it's a no-brainer. Some fans will naturally prefer more experienced and senior players, so Bradley can be further eased in, but with Martinez you have a player who's covered two different positions. He's cheap in today's market, he's also a leader for a side at just 21, and with the amount of matches the top teams play a season nowadays, you need players this reliable, this high potential and this flexible. His defensive solidity and on-the-ball surety reminds me of Arsenal's Julian Timber, who, as we know, is a gem of a player that Slot came up against in the Netherlands many times. And I'm sure if Timber was available, Slot would snap your hand off. However, my other choice for the right back position is a player Slot knows a lot. He's worked with him and deployed him in many different roles. It's RB Leipzig's Lucian Crowder. Now, before I delve into him, you may be underwhelmed by my picks. At the end of the video, I'll touch on the Frimpongs, the other spoken of options, but these picks are realistic, highly useful, affordable, and very good. If you want to replace Trent's creativity, then I'll say it again, you need to recruit elsewhere too. Or alter the system to deploy fullbacks/wingbacks to bomb forward. But let's talk about Gerrard. The Dutchman is a Swiss Army knife. Right back, centre back, left back, midfield, wing back, everywhere. Slot used him in a lot of different ways, but bringing him in instantly gives Slot so much tactical flexibility and squad depth, and it also adds to that Dutch assemblement in Liverpool's squad. Van Dijk, Gravenberch, Gakpo, Slot, meaning he could fit in like a glove. The 6'2" Leipzig defender only moved this season, but I'm thinking the lure of Arne Slot and Liverpool would make him join. Crowder can be deployed pretty much anywhere amongst Liverpool's foreign build-up. Where do I envision him most? Right back and possibly right centre back. He can tuck into the back line, play as that traditional but narrow fullback, even invert and make a pivot with Gravenberch, bomb forwards down the flank too, and when forward, position himself in the half space. He brings so much strength to the team, not just in versatility and improvisation, but physically he's so commanding, adding to that further strength in the side. Adding to more aerial threat from set pieces too. When defending for his team, I find him very assured. His agility means when a dribbler is attacking him, he can twist and turn to compete. His physicality and sheer frame means he can often shrug a player off the ball without really getting his foot in. Sometimes, not purposefully though, due to his size he'll give away some cheap fouls, but he's not reckless by no means. Often, I find him very accomplished when defending 1v1s and chasing back into space as he's fairly quick. He's athletic, he can eat up ground, and just like Martinez, time his jumps towards a player receiving the pass greatly. And to add to that, he's got nice and swift ball retention and quick feet to follow up that play, meaning he can escape those tight spaces very well, making him a really nice all-rounder. Aerially, you can imagine he's commanding whilst being a threat on the other ends, and he overall sweeps up messy pieces of play very nicely. Sometimes he can be a little bit passive, just like Martinez, but nothing too noticeable. On the ball he's comfortable, he's agile, and he's a secure and stable possession outlet. Progressively as a passer he's top. His agile turn that I've been talking about opens up another 1 to 2 passing options quite easily. That could be an inside pass to the midfield, inside to a forward man, or out wides. It also helps being equipped with both feet like he is. His short passing, good. His crosses, good. His overall comfortability and assurance on the ball, great. But more creative passes that are lifted to wide players or in behinds, a little bit off in execution. To me, I'd see him as a very smart signing for Liverpool, a player that Arne Slot knows he can get the best out of, a player with so much variety to his game and can be deployed to get the best out of others too. People naturally with more versatile players sort of shy away. Yes, it's great to be this flexible to a manager, but you also need to thrive in those positions and even tie one down to say, this is my best position, which I think Gerrard does. I can imagine against low block teams where Liverpool may have to be patient, the Dutchman flying into the penalty box unmarked and free, winning a diving header. I can also see him and Bradley on the same pitch at the same time, which removes any worries of Conor Bradley's game time, which differs from Arnau Martinez. But to conclude though, those are my right back options for Liverpool. Conor Bradley, Arnau Martinez and Luciano Gerrard. Let's look at the ones that I left out. Options I left out that were perfect, just highly unrealistic and considered untouchable was Jules Koundé, Reece James, Julian Timber and Valentino Livramento. Players that I felt were too young, raw and not quite ready for the big move but had amazing potential were Martin Fernandes and Javalio Reid. Players who I felt had gaps in their overall game that wouldn't quite suit Arne Slot were Wilfred Singo, Vanderson and Oscar Mungueza. Then finally, Jeremy Frimpong is somebody I like a lot, but just doesn't suit Slot's Liverpool. He's closer to being a winger than a fullback. Unless Slot would utilise him differently, then I can't see it happening, as great as he is. I just don't think he excels from deep like an Arne Slot fullback should do. However, that's the end of the video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know in the comments what you think and what your Trent Alexander Arnold replacement would be. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.